So let us start with yesterday actually I was posting a advance or down payment. That time the TDS was not calculated. There was some issues. What is the reason of issue? Uh, okay. One thing you should remember, actually it is not written anywhere in the study material. It's a very small thing, but this is very important. Due to that small issue also, the things didn't happen. See, whenever you are creating any bank GL, okay, GL account relating to bank, mind it, always in the create oblique bank oblique interest tab here in the third tab, always select relevant to cash flow, right? Again I am telling, whenever you are creating any GL account of banks, okay, so whether you will be having the house bank tagging or without house bank tagging, you must understand what is house bank tagging and without house bank tagging. Because in the initial stages when I was covering GL accounting, then we couldn't know what is house bank, what is account ID, what is your check register, what is your check lot, how check cancellation. So many things are there. We could not follow this initially. So that's why we have created a simple GL account and we all do the banking transactions. But banking transactions also always happens with the tagging of a house bank account ID to the specific GL account, which is already discussed. Whatever may be, whenever any GL account will be created, whether it is subsequently tagged with the house bank or only for the practice purpose we use this bank GL for direct posting, always select relevant to cash flow. Okay, so the issues yesterday was that I was using this bank GL 2 lakhs, but relevant to cash flow was not selected. Okay, so that was the issue due to which the posting couldn't happen. So now let us do the posting and see when we are posting a advance how the TDS appropriate TDS is deducted. So we will go to the financial accounting, accounts payable, we will go to the document entry, then we will go to the down payment. In the down payment, the transaction code is F-48, right? That is the down payment. We know very well regarding the down payment procedure, special GL transactions, how to make the special GL normal and how to adjust the advances against the invoice, and finally how to clear everything. That process we understood very well. So now I am posting a down payment to a particular vendor. How TDS is calculated, let us see. So let us have today's date, 4th January 2023. So now I will put the vendor GL. This is the vendor GL. Whenever you are going to make any sorts of down payment, always selected the special GL indicator, right? Here the special GL indicator is A. A means the down payment or advance payment. Then we are using the GL account of bank. The GL account is 2 lakhs. Suppose the amount is 40,000. And here in the text or narration, we will be writing like advance payment, right? Then click on enter. Once I click on enter, select the star button and select the plus button, right? So here there is a withholding tax. I can see the details relating to my withholding tax, which is applicable for the advance payment. If I click on the withholding tax, this box is also popping up, and this box by default showing the withholding tax code 7A. 7A means your advance payment, the withholding tax code of advance payment. Okay, and what is the name of the withholding tax type? 7200 advance posting. So this is the thing which is coming from the withholding tax customizations. So this is the right thing. Just click on continue. I just want to display you, but it is not compulsory that it will be displayed every time, because only one withholding tax type or withholding tax code will appear, which is 7A, because that is only meant for the advances. Then click on the document and simulate. Once I click on the document and simulate, some information will come. Don't care for this information. Then click on continue. Once I click on continue, then extra line item is also popping up, and this extra line item is regarding your TDS payable, and this is also calculated on your gross amount, that is 40,000. 2% TDS will be calculated, so 800 rupees is the TDS. But here the line item looks like blue. That means a compulsory field status is missing. So the field status missing, if I click on there, it is automatically going to the text area. That means the narration is missing. So I can have plus, so that advance payment will be automatically copied. Then again I will go to the display document overview. Once I go to the display document overview, then automatically that is converted into black. That means the mandatory field, that is text or narration, it has already been given. Then click on post. Fine. So this is the way in ways while making the advances, TDS is being deducted. And yesterday the reason of not deducting the TDS in advance payment was a simple reason, that in the GL account or GL master of this bank, we have never selected the relevant to cash flow checkbox. So mind it, whether this is any error will come in future or not, but mind it, whenever any bank GL will be created, always select relevant to cash flow, so that future error can be avoided. Yesterday that kind of error can be avoided. Okay, so this is regarding your applicability of TDS in case of advance payment. So today we will discuss about the GST procedures. Okay, so before discussing the GST procedure, let us understand it in details, and we will come to and demonstrate the customizations. Then we will go for the end user activities of GST invoice posting.
Sir, one question.
Yes, ask.
Sir, while making an advance request, this time you have done the direct advance payment.
Yes.
While we are going for advance request, at that time, is it directly withholding tax is calculated or not?
See, in advance request also it is required. I have never demonstrated the advance request, but advance request can be configured. I will show you in the next class how to make the advance request, how to link it with the withholding tax, because advance request, actually any advances, normally what happened, a request comes from the vendor or from the service provider. On the basis of the request, let us go to the screen actually. On the basis of, with reference to the request, we release the advance. So it is just like your purchase requisition and purchase order. So whenever any purchase order is created, it is always with reference to purchase requisition. When the goods is issued, it is always with reference to the purchase order. So it is just like a preceding step. So these are really interrelated. So whenever the organization has to, okay, see, I am going to the financial accounting, accounts payable, then I am coming to the document entry, then I am coming to the down payment. Here is the request F-47. F-47 is the down payment request. So down payment request and down payment, these are interrelated, and this request is nothing but it is a noted item. Actually, down payment request is something, it is just a reminder to the paying authority to pay a certain sum to a party uh, in time. So it is just like a reminder. No double entry is generated, no accounting entry is generated while creating a down payment request. So a single entry is only there. Single entry means one line entry is there, and it is a request for releasing the down payment. So whenever we are releasing the down payment, we always release it with reference to a particular request. So let us go to the down payment screen. Here I directly enter the down payment, right? In this screen I directly entered a down payment. But if there is a request, previous request, with reference to that request you are making a down payment, then simply you have to put it, you have to click on the request. You have to click on the request, then with reference to that request the down payment will be generated. Okay, so actually I have not configured, request also required some sort of configurations. Without configuration it cannot be created. I have not created the I have not done the request configuration, so that's why it is not working. Otherwise, if I could have created a request, then immediately it could pop up. If I click here, then list of requests will be available, and I have to select the specific request, and once I select that specific request and enter, then everything from that request, including the amount and everything, amount and the party, it will automatically come here. But in this session I am doing it manually. So whenever any prior request will be there, you don't have to put any manual things, selecting the vendor, then your amount, etc, etc. Everything will come from the request. Okay, so I will show the request in the next class. While making the request also, same thing is applicable. Any parameters relating to your withholding, that is also required in request. So I will demonstrate it in the next class. It is just the very simple customization, only 2 or 3 steps the customization will be over, and we can demonstrate the request procedure. Now let us start with the GST configurations. Okay, so GST configuration, as you know that the full name is goods and service tax, goods and services tax. So it is the latest tax regime in India. It phase out the excise duty as well as the VAT related, service tax related complications, and there is one tax, both includes goods and services, and this is the tax which is the combination of goods and services. And this GST, the most important thing is this GST, some new set of procedures is established, though it is based on the previous taxation kind of things, previous philosophy of the taxation, that there should not be tax on tax, or there should be input tax mechanism. That means whenever any organization is purchasing or availing services and paying the GST, and also on the selling of the goods or services it attracts GST, then while calculating the net GST payable, first of all input GST has to be adjusted against the output GST. Okay, so let us take an example. Suppose on purchase, suppose there is a transaction, raw material purchase. Say the value of the raw material purchase is say 10,000 rupees, and I am adding the 18% input GST. Okay, so that is 1800. So the total amount, total bill value, total purchase price is say 11,800. Okay, so this is at the time of purchase. Then at the time of sale, suppose basic value of goods sold, say to 20,000, and the while selling we are applying say 18% output GST. So this is 3,600 and the total value is 23,600. So this is nothing but the total sales price. Okay, so what happened, while at the time of purchase the business pays GST and received the raw material, and over this raw material it applies labor, other overheads and other expenses, then produce certain goods, and that goods is sold where the basic value of goods excluding the GST is say 20,000. Suppose 18% GST is applicable, then in this case 3,600 is the GST on sales, that is called output GST. This is called input GST. Okay, why it is called output GST? Because this is calculated on the at the time of sales. So the total sales price is 23,600. Now the organization has to go for net GST to be deposited, that will be 3600 minus 1800. Okay, so the balance 1,800 to be deposited. So in this case the input tax is added against the adjusted against the output tax. So this is the case actually. But this GST, there are three things. One is SGST, another is CGST, another is IGST. Okay, these are the three things actually. Suppose 18% GST is applicable, then as per the tax procedure, this 18 will be divided into two parts, equal two parts, that is 9% as well as 9%. So the total GST of 18% will be divided into two categories. One is the state GST, another is the central GST. That means this portion of the GST falls in the share of the state, and this portion of the GST falls in case of central government. So even if it is a intrastate sales, like intrastate sales, in case of intrastate sales, whatever GST is applicable, that will be divided into equal two parts. One part belongs to the state part, another part belongs to the central part. But in case of interstate purchase or sales, what happens? Suppose any organization is purchasing some goods or availing of services out of our state. In this case, whatever GST rate will be applicable, that will not be shared. Okay, that will not be shared. So in this case, that is called your IGST. Okay, that is called your IGST. So what happened in this SAP customization, we have to set the GST procedures with the required percentage, and whenever any in this scenario, whenever any entry is to be passed, suppose this is an entry, this is something which is the basics of the GST practices, but whenever accounting entries will be passed, this entry will be like this. On purchase, the entry will be like this. What will be the entry? The entry will be inventory raw materials, inventory raw materials debit, that is 10,000. Then as there is a input tax mechanism, so I can have SGST receivable, SGST receivable, SGST receivable account debit 900. Similarly, CGST receivable account, suppose it is intrastate, CGST receivable account debit 900 to vendor, credit, that is 11,800. Okay, so this is the entry at the time of purchase. This entry has to be generated automatically in the SAP system. In the SAP system, we should configure the SAP system in such a way that automatically the applicable rate, the designated rate will be applied, and the line items of the GL, actually this is a GL account, this is also a GL account, this is a GL account, and this is a vendor account. So against the specific GL account, taking the designated rate, tax will be calculated and entry will be generated. Similarly, at the time of sales, what entry will be generated? At the time of sales, the entry will be customer debit. Okay, customer debit, say 20,000. Sorry, customer debit 23,600 to your, suppose it is also interstate. So in this case, you will be having this scenario. This is credit, this is credit. I can have sales credit, and the amount is, say, here is 20,000, here is 1,800, here is 1,800, and the sales figure will be this will be not CGST receivable, SGST receivable, but it is SGST payables, because this is something which is called the output tax. Similarly, CGST payables, right? So the customer figure will be 23,600. We will get from the customer 23,600, and the sales is 20,000. Okay, so this is one part, that this is the credit part actually, and this part is the debit part. this part is the debit part. Okay, and this is the total entry. This is the total entry. So this is the thing which is actually generated, and in the month end we have to pass the requisite JV for the adjustment. What JV we are going to pass? We will adjust this receivable against the payable, because the payable is more and receivable is less. So once we pass a JV crediting the receivable and debiting the payable, what happens? The receivable will be completely nullified and the similar amount will be reduced from the payables. So how much SGST payable will be stand after the adjustment JV? Only 900 rupees will stand, because this 900 will be set off against 1800. So net credit will stand 900. Here also net credit will be stand at 900, and this 900 and 900 net credit, it will be nullified by clearing. What is clearing? Finally we are going to deposit the GST. Once we deposit the GST, this payable will be debited and bank will be credited, so that it will be automatically nullified. So this is the applicability of your GST procedure, a simple GST procedure. But for the customization of GST in SAP, there are different steps and there are different processes. The first thing is called, we have to create many condition types. Condition type is a term which is used in the customization, and this condition types is the basis through which GST will be calculated. And different situations, the GST will be calculated in different ways with requisite percentage. And condition type, while creating condition type, we have to thought of whether it is a input GST or whether it is a output GST. Okay, so while doing the customization, our first step is to create different condition types for SGST, for CGST, for IGST, like that. Okay, let us directly go to the customization area. I will go to the SPRO. Again I am logging. Just a minute, important call is there, just give me 5 minutes. Okay, fine. So now let us open the software. I will go to and create condition type. While creating the condition type, I will discuss what are the different conditions are available and which condition type is suitable for us for making the SGST, CGST and IGST. Okay, so I will go to the financial accounting, new, financial accounting global settings, new. Then I will come to the tax on sales oblique purchases. Then I will come to the basic settings. Okay, then I will click on the check calculation procedure. Okay, so this is the very basic things where we will create the condition types. So there are three things here: access sequence, condition type and define procedures. So SAP standard practice always says that while creating condition type, you can copy some existing standard condition types which is there in the SAP system and change as per your requirement, as per your country practice. Okay, so many condition types, 490 condition types are already there in the SAP, and most of them are standard condition types and some are created by some users. So today I will create the condition type. I will not copy, I will create, but in most of the cases consultant copy the condition type, which is very similar to their requirement or their tax procedures or their tax template, and change which is required. So in our case, let us create it from the new entries button. So I will create a condition type. First condition type I will create 7, say 7SG I am creating 7SG. Okay, and I am giving it the name say 7200 SGST 9. Suppose I am giving the condition type, I am not writing so many, but I will have say 7200 SGST, right? That's it. So it stands for 7SG. Then I will come to the access sequence. Access sequence decides whether it is a input GST or whether it is a output GST condition type. The condition type whatever I create, is it applicable for the input GST or output GST? So that decision will be there through the access sequence. So that in the access sequence there is a predefined access sequence called MWST. Okay, so I am selecting MWXT. So MWXT actually actually access sequence MWST, it purely says regarding the tax classifications, but subsequently we will do the decision, we will make the decision of input GST or output GST, but access sequence gives you the options what type of condition type this is. Okay, so this is MWSC or it is tax classifications. Then I will come to the condition class. In the condition class I will select D. Also there are different condition class which will be applicable in other areas or other modules, but in our case I am using the tax conditions, so I will select D always. Then I will select the calculation type. Calculation type, normally what happened, GST is always calculated in percentage, not in fixed amount or not in quantity or like that. So obviously I will select A. A means your percentage. Then condition category. What type of condition category it will be? So here is also I will select D. D means condition category is also, D means it is also applicable for your tax. Then I will select item condition checkbox. So I will select your item condition checkbox. This checkbox selection is there. Then I will select amount or percentage checkbox. Then I will select the value checkbox. So quantity and everything, these are not required at all. So this checkbox is very much required for calculation, for creation of the condition type, your SGST. Then click on save. Save in your request. So just come back. So this is the condition type I have created. My another two condition type I will create. I can create it just by copying this one. So there is not much of change, only the identification will change. Rest of the things are very much same. So I can select here and click on copy as. Okay, so here I will write CG, that is 7200 CGST. Okay, then I will click on enter and click on save, right? Then I will select, I will create the last one. So last one is also very similar except the identification and the description. So I will copy that, I will copy it from CG and I will put here IZ. So 7200 IGST. Then I put enter and click on save. Okay, So very easily I created 3 numbers of condition type which will be useful for onward further linkage. So these are the very basic things. These will be linked to some more customizing values or some variants, more customizing variants or more customizing objects. So the next customizing object will be create account key or process key. So for creating account key or process key, I have to go to up to that I will be having the global settings new, then tax and sales and purchases will be there, then I will go to the basic settings, then I will come to the third one, check and change settings for tax processing. Okay, so many processes there. Actually I have to create my own process. So I will click on the new entries button. Here I am creating my process, say 7SG, the same thing. I am giving 7200 SGST, say 9%, because 18% will be divided into 2 parts. That's why I am putting it as 9%. The first one I am putting it as 9%. And let us have this S1, so that it will be better, SGST 9%, because I have to create another one also. Another one also I have to create. Let us have the same thing. Actually SG, let us do it 18%. That bifurcation I will do it subsequently, or I can put at say 9%. Okay, it will be meaningful. Let us have 7 SG. There after that I will create another one for 9%, because whatever 18% I will demonstrate, so it will be divided into 2 part, one for state, another for central. So that's why the description is here as 9%, so it will be truly representative. Then I will come to the tax type. So in the tax type there are 2 options. These 2 options will be relevant for us, whether it is input or output. As I am in the applicable area, that is accounts payable, so accounts payable means all the input tax related things will be there. So posting indicator will too. Then tax type will be 2, and posting indicator there are normally 3 options: no posting required, separate line item, distribute to relevant expenses. What is the meaning of this? No posting required means there will be no tax posting. Separate line items and distribute to relevant expenses. What does it mean? Suppose your organization do not have any input tax mechanism. Okay, suppose your organization will be having no input tax mechanism. Are you supposed to pass this entry? No, your entry will be different. If you don't have any input tax mechanism, then there is no necessary for putting these 2 line items, SGST receivable and CGST receivable, because this receivable cannot be set off against the payable. So what happens? The tax portion will be distributed to relevant expenses. So what does it mean? That means how much amount you will book to expenses account, you will book the entire amount, that is 11,800. So that means any organization where input tax mechanism will not be there, they will use the 3, distribute to relevant expenses or revenue. In our organization it is always required to be reported separately, because that receivable will be adjusted against payable. So we will use this posting indicator too, right? So this is the logic. This is the logic through which posting indicator is created. So click on save. save in your request. So once I save my request, then very well I can copy this one, then again click on copy as. I am using the same identification. Actually this is the identification area, not that whatever I have created I have to use it. This 3-digit is up to yours, so simplify it so that you can remember. My previous conditions whatever I have created with the same identification, 7SG, 7CG, 7IG. So now also I am doing the same because it will be easy to remember, otherwise I will confuse myself. So here it is same thing are there relating to the SGST, CGST. So this 2 and 2, it will be also very much applicable. Only the description change and identification change. Click on enter and click on save. Then again I copy this one, select, click on copy as, and put it as SIZ, and I will put here SIZ, that is 18%. Fine. Then click on enter and click on save. Okay. So now I am able to create, there are two processing. I have created 3 numbers of variants or 3 numbers of customizing object for my tax processing. Okay. So this is tax processing. I created 3 numbers of objects. Then I will come to the next customization. In the next customization, I will link the objects whatever I have created. Initially I have created 3 objects, that is your condition types, 3 numbers of condition type. Then I created another 3 objects for the purpose of tax processing, right? Then I will link it with this 3 and 3 will be linked here. Where it will be linked here? It will be linked in this, that is define procedure. Actually I have created condition types. I have created 3 number of objects for tax processing. Then I will come to define procedure. Then I will click on the new entries button. Let us have my tax procedure name 7200. I have 7200 GST procedure. From the description also I can identify this belongs to my company code. So click on save. Fine. Then select this procedure and click on the control data tab and click on the new entries button, right? So I will click on the new entries button. In the new entries button, first of all I have to put the step number 10. Step number 10 means the first step, and this is your condition types. So whatever condition type I have created, it will be applicable here. But the first one is the base amount. Base amount, there is already a condition type BASB in the standard SAP software. All the consultants do that. Tax is always calculated on the base amount. So I am putting here BASB. Then I am coming to the second step. In the second step, I will choose another condition type, that is 7SG. So this 7SG, that means state GST, it will be calculated on the first line. First line, what is the number? First step, the number is 10, that is the base value. So on the base value 10 to 10, on the baseline, the SGST will be calculated. While this SGST will be calculated, it will be linked with the account key. So what is the account key I have created now? I have created now the account key for the purpose of processing. Let us have that, this one. Okay, so this one 7SG is my account key, and this account key will be automatically, I will link it to the GL account. Subsequently I will create the GL account, input GST, input SGST, input CGST, and input IGST GL account I will create, and I will also link with this object. But in this table I link the condition type with the account key. Similarly, come to 30. In the 30 also I will be having 7 CG. Here it is also calculated from 10 to 10, and here it is also account key also with the same name, so I don't have to fear whether I am remembering or not. Then I come to the 40. 40 is 7 IG. Then it will be also calculated from 10 to 10. When such kinds of situation will come, when there will be a interstate purchase, then it will be calculated also on the base amount 10 to 10, first step, and this is 7 IZ. Okay, so this is the case regarding your setting of the table. Actually this is a logical table. This table pick up the data on the basis of the way these things are arranged. So click on save. Okay, once I click on save, the descriptions are automatically coming. These descriptions are automatically coming. Then again click on save. Okay, the things are saved very well. Then the third procedure is I will assign the tax procedure to the country India. My company code is in country India, and this tax procedure I have created for country India, and I will assign it to my country. So I will click here, then I will click on the position button, then my country is India. Here the by default tax procedure is SIL, but for application of the tax procedure in my company code, I have to link it with the tax procedure what I have created now, 7200. So I am just removing this and I click on save. See, whenever you do practice of this GST procedure, always before passing any entry, be sure that for country India your tax procedure is linked. Sometimes what happens, when many persons will practice in the SAP software, they will create their different tax procedure, and whenever they will come for the practice, they will remove the existing procedure, some others procedure, and they will put their procedure, then only it will be applied. GST can be demonstrated. If your tax procedure is not assigned to country India, because your company code is in country India, the domicile of your company code is country India. So whenever you will demonstrate the GST process, you should be make sure that your GST procedure is assigned to country India. Otherwise error will come. You cannot generate the correct accounting entry. So this is very important, because country India is only one. So every time people will remove your procedure and they will add their procedure, and it will remain as it is. Whenever you will do the practice of GST, you cannot able to pass the entries. So be sure, as this particular software or particular client is used for practice and many people are connected, so whenever GST procedure we will have to demonstrate, make sure that your procedure is applicable here. Okay, so now 7200 procedure is assigned to my company code. Then I will come to the next customization. In the next customization, I will create tax codes. I will create tax code. So same way, I will go to the financial accounting, right? Then I will go to the financial accounting global settings, new. Then I will go to the tax on sales and purchases. Then I will go to the calculations. Then I will go to the defined tax codes for sales or purchases. Okay, it will ask the country in which you are going to tax codes. Put the country India, which is stands for IN. Now I am selecting the tax procedure, say 7S. This is 2-digit actually. Then click on enter. While clicking on enter, it will ask you the description. In this description, I will describe it 7200 SGST input 9%. So this is the detailed description, and here in the tax type I will declare it whether it is input tax or whether it is output tax. I will use B. B stands for your input tax. Okay. Then I will click on continue. Once I will click on continue, then here against this I will put 9. I will put 9%. Sorry, I will put 9 so that automatically it will be converted into percentage. And here also I will put here 9. Automatically it will be converted into percentage. Okay. Then for this one I will not use, I will do it in a different step. I will use it in a different step. So this is 7S. In this case things are divided into 2, and I will click on save. Then suppose I am putting here 7C. Here also I will be having 7200. This will be say CGST input GST. This is also B. B means input tax. Click on continue. Here also I will put the same 9 and click on save. And here I will be having 7I. Put enter. Then this is IGST, and this is my 18%, 18%, and this is B. B means input tax, and here I will put 18%. Okay. Then click on, see, this particular thing is very important. This particular thing is the combination of all. There is a tax code here, the tax type here, this is for input tax, and base amount, SGST, CGST, IGST. Actually this is nothing, but this is the thing which I have populated in the table. And 10, 20, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 10 to 30, 10 to 40, these are nothing, but these are the things which is borrowed from the table. And condition type is also added here. These are condition types, and these are account keys. These two things are there in the table, isn't it? In the table, what two things are there? First one is condition type, another one is your account key. So here all the things are linked together with percentage. So this particular screen is the combination of your condition type, account key, as well as the tax code with the percentage. So all the things are combined here. Whatever customizations I have done till now for GST procedure, the same thing is combined in this particular screen. Okay, click on save. So after saving this, let us create the GL accounts. That is very important, because those GL accounts will be used for the purpose of posting. So whenever any input GST will be there, then it will be automatically our current assets. So regarding my current assets, I will create the GL account under my current asset. Let us go to OBD4. And under the OBD4, let us go to the chart of account 7200. And this is my group relating to current asset 2 lakh to 2 lakh 99. So let us open another session. Now FS00. So let us see how many current accounts I have already created. Okay, so 2 lakh to 2 lakh 99. Let us create the GL account 2 lakh 5, right? 2 lakh 5. I am creating one GL account and I am copying it from say 2 lakh 4. Okay, and this is my company code 7200 and click on enter. Now I will have the GL account say 9% SGST receivable. This is also same 9% SGST receivables. Okay, and the most important thing is I have to go to the control data tab, and here in the tax category I will select these all tax types allowed and reconciliation account type, because this is not relevant to reconciliation account type. The thing which is copied previously, it was copied from the reconciliation account, so that was coming automatically, but always do not use any reconciliation account type here, because this is not a reconciliation account like sundry creditor or sundry debtor. Here I have to use the tax category star, and I will select the posting without tax allowed. That means sometimes if in emergency situation without tax allowed will be also allowed. Then I will select the open item management and line item display. Why? Because finally when GST, SGST receivable line items will be there, it will be shown in red. When it will be adjusted against the payables, this will be converted into green. So open item management is also applicable for this GL account. Be sure. So that's why select open item management and select the line item display and click on save. Fine. So now I will create another one. I will copy it from with template. Okay, I'm copying it from 2 lakh 5. So here I will be having CGST receivable. Other things are very much same. So click on save. Then I will create another one. This is also from a with template, whatever I have created. Now it is now I can have 18% IGST receivable. Here also 18% IGST receivables. Okay, other things are very much same. Just click on save. Okay, so these 3 numbers of GL account I have created. Now this is the step to assign this GL account for automatic posting. Okay, why automatic posting? Because I cannot calculate manually how much percentage will be there, what is the amount calculated in percentage, so that the system will calculate the GST with the appropriate percentage taking the variant, and the auto line item will be also populated. So how the automatic GL account as well as the line item will be populated? Through the automatic account assignment. So that's why I have to go to the same customization area, SAP reference ING. I will go to the financial accounting, new. Then I will go to the financial accounting global settings, then tax on sales or purchases. Previously I do some customization in basic settings, I do some customization in calculation. I am almost the last part. I will do some customization in posting, and I will click on define tax account. Okay, so in the tax account, these three things are automatically coming. Why these three things are coming? Because these are the account keys what I have created. Now this account key will be linked with the appropriate GL account, and this account key is linked with the specific condition types. Let us open a table. I will just logic how SAP logically did all these things. There is opportunity to see how logically SAP link everything one by one. So let us come and see. So let us go to the table. Okay, there is a very important table I have created. In that table, two things I have declared. One is your condition types, another is your account key. So now this is the table. Check calculation procedure, then define procedure. So this is the table. Okay, what this table you understand? This is the logical steps on the basis of which the tax will be calculated. This is your condition type, this is your account key. Whenever this table is ready, that means the tax will calculation will be also ready. But when the tax calculation will be there, then to which GL account the amount will be thrown. The amount should be represented against the appropriate GL account. So that GL account linking is through the account key. Okay, here is the account key, here is the condition type. This is calculated on the base amount. Okay, but whenever any tax will be calculated, which GL account will be picked up for generating the line items? So that will be picked off through the account key. So here is the account key which is there, and I will do the configuration of linking it with the specific account key. So first of all, I will double click on SG. Once I click on the SG, it will ask me which chart of account. My chart of account is by default coming because I am already there in some work, so it is coming by default. Then I will click here, then I will click on the posting key button. Okay, it is asking, do you want to save the data first? Let us save it. Then click on the rules button. Okay, and click on the posting key button. Here I will put the posting key 40 here and posting key 50 here. So 40/50 is for the GL accounting, and click on save. Then I will click on the account button. Now here for this account key, which GL account will be picked off? So obviously my GL account will be this one, 2,05,000. So I am linking it with this. Fine. Then I will go to the next one. I will come to the table. Again save. No, do not save it. Again come to the tax table. So this one is over. Let us see which one I have created. SGST I have created, na? So I will create for CGST. So now I will click on the posting key. Here also I will put 40 and 50. Then I will click on save. Then I will click on account. Then I will click on and assign it with the specific GL account. So which GL account will be there? 2,06,000. So click on save. So this is a logical thing. Actually this table is very important. this condition types or condition types which I have created, it will link it with the account key, and in this customization I am linking the account key with the appropriate GL. This is the account key, we are we are linking it to the appropriate GL. Then again come back, then come to the IGST. Here also click on the posting key, click on save, click on posting key. Always posting key determination is very important. Then click on save, then click on the account, then I will select last one, 2,07,000, this one, that is for IGST. Click on save, save in your request. Okay, so after this let us have the testing. So for testing purpose of GST, let us go to the FB60. Okay, so I am coming to the FB60. Now in the FB60, let us select which company code is there. Okay, 7200 is here, and I will select my vendor. So this is my vendor. I will put today's date, then again I put enter. It is saying down payment exists, don't care for the message. So this is my purchase invoice posting, just put enter, don't care for this message. Suppose say this is 1 lakh, fine. Then I am coming to the expenses part, which is your inventory raw material FI, say this one. Then I will select the appropriate tax code here. Suppose this is a intrastate kind of thing. I am selecting this one, and the text is mandatory here. I am putting the text plus. There are some more things to come. I will select the calculate tax button. Okay, I will select here also 7S. I will select here the 7S also. Okay, so this is the thing, what exactly, and amount is star. Let us put account is not tax relevant, tax code will be ignored. Okay, so in the inventory raw material, actually just a minute, actually before end user testing, sundry creditor, inventory raw material all should be tax relevant. Actually my GL account, I need some modifications. Let us go to that. In the control data tab, I have to, because those GLs no tax procedure was defined, so this is fine. I have created it. In the control data tab, these are tax category is activated, but let us go to the sundry creditor, because that sundry creditor was not tax relevant. So my sundry creditors, this one. Okay, I will make the change here also. I will remove this one, exchange rate difference key. I think that was see, you have to select tax category star, posting without tax, then click on save. Okay, then again I change on the inventory raw material also, because tax will not be otherwise calculated, because those GLs are not tax relevant. So it is very important, in the GL account also you have to do some modifications. So this is my inventory raw material. I will make certain changes. Under the control data tab, I will select star, posting without tax allowed. That means tax is also applicable, without tax is also, this GL is okay. Okay, so this is the thing. Then I am again coming to the posting. So this is FB60 now. So this is my vendor, this is the invoice date. Now I will be having the amount, then I will be having 2,10,000 my inventory raw material. I will put star here. I will select the relevant code. Whenever any down payment will be there, I will not care. Purchase invoice posting. Then I will put enter. So this invoice, I will be having two things. One is my TDS as well as my GST, because for this vendor I have already selected GST as well as TDS. So both the things are there. Text is plus, then put enter. Okay. Then I will click on simulate. Okay, let's see. This is saying base amount shall be corrected. Let us go to the tax tab. Okay, it's fine. I'll be having calculate tax, then document simulate general ledger. Okay, see. So now the tax is calculated. So in this transaction, what happens? GST is also calculated as well as TDS is also calculated, right? So when both GST and TDS is calculated, what happens? It is showing error message still exists. See the error log. What are the error logs actually here? See, whenever I was passing this transaction, this 3 line items related information was not there. But now the information relating to these 3 line items, these are automatically coming. So whenever these 3 line items are automatically coming, while creating the GL account of this 3 GL accounts, I have already opted narration or text is mandatory. So that's why whenever auto line item is created, narration, there is no narration at all. So practically what happens in this particular transaction, even if there will be a one narration in a one line item, then naturally we can understood the nature of transaction, entire nature of transaction here itself. So there is no necessity to make narration mandatory for this GL accounts. So from the field status group, you can suppress the narration, or you can make the narration optional, so that this kind of error message will not be there, right? So if this error message will be there, this can be removed by putting this plus. Again I will come back, then again I will come to the second one, then again plus, again I will come back and I will come third, then plus, then again I will come back and I will click on post. Okay, so now the document is shown me in this manner. See, that was the entry view, this is the general ledger view. So general ledger view, sundry creditor is automatically coming. Then I will again go to I can go to directly okay, this is in the GL view. So I can come to the basic data again, click on some simulate, and error message is also showing here. I will be having plus. Again I will come back in the second line item also, I will put plus. In the third line item also I will put plus, then I can put save. Fine. Now the document is posted 6030. So once I post the document, let us go to FBL3N. So FBL3N, I want to see the GST line items, how it is showing here. So this is my SGST. Click on selection. See, this line item is showing in red. Why it is showing in red? Because this is an input tax. Unless and until it will be set off against the output tax, this line item will not be cleared. I have already discussed there are two types of clearing: payment with clearing and adjustment with clearing. So this particular input GST, it will not be paid, it will be adjusted against the output GST. Once it is adjusted, then automatically this red will be converted into green. So once I will discuss the accounts receivable and GST procedure there, then I will show you how by adjustment of input against the output GST happens, so that input is cleared and the balance at the output is finally paid, and that is also converted into green. Okay, so this is regarding your SGST and this is regarding your CGST. Okay, so this is the case in which the GST is calculated and it is demonstrated. Some very important thing is, whenever you will create you will do the configuration of GST and make the GL accounts, create the GL accounts, all those relevant GL accounts like sundry creditor or vendor, inventory raw material, as well as IGST, CGST, SGST payable GL account, always select your relevant to tax. Okay, it is always relevant to tax. Tax category you put star. Star means all tax category will be applicable, and also you select without tax. In the GL master you will select the checkbox without tax, otherwise issues will happen. So this is where in the control data tab, for all the relevant GL accounts like 3 GL accounts, CGST, SGST, IGST, inventory raw material, as well as sundry creditor, 5 GL accounts, always use tax category star and posting without tax allowed, otherwise your issues will come. So in this way your GST procedures are covered. So we are almost at the end part of this accounts payable. In the next class tomorrow I will demonstrate that request, down payment request, and having the exact down payment. Then I will start the accounts receivables, basics of accounts receivables. Okay, so hope you will do the practice. This is the basic process of GST. I'm only selecting one demonstration, 18%, but whenever your organization will be different GST rates, then so many GL accounts you have to create, so many tax codes you have to create, so many tax types you have to create. It is a long list, but once you understand the process for a single tax rates, then same thing will be applicable in others also. Okay, good night to all of you, and we close the session now.